Hello and welcome to Mousekast, the podcast where the mind meets the magic. This is episode 64 and another special edition. We're continuing the Mousekast where the mind meets the madness bracket challenge. If you remember and have been listening to past episodes, we did the round of 32 attractions where Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind came out as your number one attraction at Walt Disney World. Then we turned our attention to the top 16 restaurants over at the Magic Kingdom, and Artist's Point came out as your number one. Don't give me thumbs up, thumbs down. You guys are the ones that did this.
It was all the seating. Megan, back me up. Was it the seating?
Absolutely. The right places didn't even get into the championship game. Absolutely a mess.
I agree.
Look, I'm telling you right now, I agree. There were a lot of great restaurants that did not make the list, including one of my personal favorites, Rose and Crown, did not get in there. But we based that list based upon the most popular ADRs. Was the best way we could do it. And so
the way it played out, it brought us to Artist Point legitimately.
It did.
The way the chart played out, we did get to Artist Point legitimately. However, I do feel that the seating did not play out the way it should have.
Well, okay, I understand. And, Priscilla, I believe you were on in the chat on this one. And I know everybody really believes, as Hawk did, that Chef Mickey should have been number one. So, come on. But tonight, though, we're down to the round of 8. And so here we are. We're doing 8 deluxe resorts. Now, quick caveat to this. These are 8 Disney-owned resorts. So not making the list are some of those deluxe resorts that are on property but are not Disney-owned. We're thinking of you specifically, the Swan, Dolphin, and Reserve. Also things like the Four Seasons. While you kind of are on property and you do get some of the Disney benefits, we are going to ones that are owned and operated by Disney. But before we get to that, we want to say a huge welcome to our guest host tonight. Priscilla is with us. Welcome, Priscilla.
Ooh, sorry. Hi.
Absolutely. Great to have you with us as we go through our top 8 resorts. Let's first, though, touch on a little bit of news that is happening. So some things that have been going on at Walt Disney World over about the last week or so. It's tough to be a bug. Over at Animal Kingdom, Disney's Animal Kingdom has now closed. Of course, it's now making way for a Zootopia-themed attraction that is scheduled to open supposedly late this year. We'll see if it actually makes it into 2025 or if it goes into 2026. The Easter holidays are upon us, and that means Easter displays are now up at deluxe resorts, including over at the Grand Floridian, where kind of much like they do at Christmas time, where they have the gingerbread house, they have the Grand Cottage, which has been set up in the lobby at the Grand Floridian, where you can pick up different pastries and other interesting little goods there as well. So if you're heading over to check out the Easter displays all through the various deluxe resorts, be sure to swing over to the Grand Floridian and check out the Grand Cottage. Hey, you guys all remember the Frontierland shooting arcade in the Magic Kingdom and remember that it closed? Well, here was why. It has now been turned into a DVC member lounge exclusively for DVC members, and that lounge actually opened today in the Magic Kingdom. It is very Frontierland themed, and it looks kind of nice.
So, Chuck, it's a shooting gallery, or is it a lounge?
No, it has remember the Frontierland shooting gallery closed.
No, I didn't know if they had left them in there.
Well, no, you're not shooting DVC members. No.
I'm just sorry. Well, obviously not really shooting them, but I didn't know if you were squirting guns or anything.
No. So
I would have paid for.
Well, it could have been interesting. So it is, that space has been totally retrofitted. It's funny. There's some photos that were posted. Our friends at allears.net put some pictures up. And it looks very, very rustic. I mean, it kind of has a very Wilderness Lodge-y kind of look.
Yeah, it's going to fit the area very well.
Very nicely.
That's a good call. I just now have to buy DVC to be able to go in and enjoy it.
Well, maybe make a friend. Who knows? Hey, speaking of lounges, by the way, though, the new Spaceship Earth Lounge now has a new name. So it's opening up sometime this year. We haven't heard anything more about its actual opening date that I'm
Adults
aware
only.
of. What's that?
Adults only.
Yeah, and it's an adults only. You're correct. It's an adults only lounge, and it's a new name for it, or not a new name. A name has been announced for it. It'll be called Geo 82. Of course, 82 in homage to the opening year of Epcot, which of course was 1982. Speaking of, go ahead.
I was gonna add something else that's going on over at Epcot. They have started testing for the new test track as well.
Yes, they have, and
they started doing testing this week. And
I don't know that we heard of a expected opening date yet. I have not.
I've heard summer, but not
anything harder. Yeah, I haven't heard anything harder. Speaking of Epcot and speaking of refurbishments, the Grand Fiesta Tour over at Epcot's Mexico Pavilion just recently reopened, and supposedly, frankly, a little bit bigger of a refurb than some folks thought. Many of those projection screens have now been replaced with actual digital screens, and supposedly they look really crisp, really clean, very high def. So it's been a big improvement over at the Grand Fiesta Tour. And then a little bit of Disney Cruise Line news. So if you are listening to us and you happen not to be from the United States, listen up. Disney is no longer offering trip insurance for guests with a country of origin that is not the United States. So if you're from the UK, Canada, listening from Europe or anywhere else, you will no longer be able to get trip insurance through Disney Cruise Line. Any existing reservations that do have trip insurance included are going to be honored. So this is going forward for the Disney Cruise Line, and that's the news for this week. Guys, got anything else that you know of that?
Thank you guys for joining us. That's the show.
And there we go. Sure.
I just want to know if they're going to put cast members in the little playground area at Epcot so that my husband and I can go enjoy that new lounge. Because what the heck am I supposed to do with my two toddlers?
Yeah, we'll find something. Just put them on a loop on Spaceship Earth, and just tell them, when they get to the end, just do the spinning thing. And
Megan, how do you and your husband lose your children every time you go to Epcot?
It's strange.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Paging Megan Weichman again.
I'm just
Please
kidding.
We
can probably arrange to meet up with you guys and offer babysitting services.
Yes, Mousekast babysitting services just got started. Here we go.
Jen and I could just take you.
Watching my children. There's a thought.
Yeah, Megan, you sure you want to sign up for this? I don't know. Speaking of lawyers,
hey, Megan, you met my fiance. You would trust me with her unequivocally.
Yes,
you would trust me with that. I'd be a phenomenal dad. I'd do that well.
Yeah.
You are a phenomenal dad. What do you mean you would be?
That's right.
Yeah, but I'm just a little out of practice because all my kids are grown now. Like they're all older. So going back to the younger age, it'll be good warm up for grandparent days.
And of course, the other bit of news, Epcot Flower and Garden Festival is in full swing right now, and we're going to have some more conversations about that coming up fairly soon here on Mousekast. So that's a great place to take advantage of.
Also in big news, Chuck will be visiting the world pretty soon.
I will be in the world very, very soon. And so you never know who we might run into. But tonight, yeah, well, there you go. Hawk will be Universal. He knows I'm coming, so he's getting out of Dodge. So tonight, though, it's time to continue our Mousekast Where the Mind Meets the Madness tournament. It's time for the 8. Okay, so I know you guys complained about seating, and so full disclosure, I rigged this one this time. And the only reason I rigged it is because in the very first round, what I didn't want to necessarily see was a Magic Kingdom versus Magic Kingdom and an Epcot versus Epcot or something like that. I tried to set up the first round matchups so we do at least have some matchups of different areas versus each other. So, I had to come up with something.
No, you did it. Chuck, you have done a phenomenal job with all these because the one thing with Disney, like whether it be attractions, whether it be restaurants, whether it be resorts, or when we move forward to parks, every bit of Disney offers something that is unique and individualized and special to some people. So even those watching, we're going to have those moments where we have a conversation or make an argument or present our opinions that a lot of people aren't going to agree with. But that's the beauty of Disney. There is so much offered there that you have options that work for you. We wanted to do this in fun. We've already determined that it hasn't worked out to be perfect already because we didn't feel like the winner of the food was the real winner, but it happens. This is going to be a good one though, because this is going to be tough because any one of these resorts could easily win the title.
Yeah, absolutely. So this could be very, very interesting. And so we'll see how things go. So let's start off, of course, let's talk about the seeds. Your overall number one resort, the Grand Floridian. And to me, this made very, very good sense. To make it number one, it is the flagship resort. Coming in, your number two seed, the Contemporary, followed by the Polynesian. These are the three original resorts at Walt Disney World, and it was logical to kind of make them 1, 2, and 3. Then in number 4, the Beach and Yacht Club. Now, I took these two and I put them together because in many respects, they do kind of act as one total resort. They share Stormalong Bay, which is still under refurbishment right now. But when it's done, it's going to be really cool. It's going to be really cool when it's done. Hopefully, it'll be done in June. So Yacht and Beach Club I did put together. And then, of course, Wilderness Lodge, followed by the Boardwalk, Riviera, and finally Animal Kingdom Lodge. So again, just because Animal Kingdom says it's an eighth, don't do too much about that. I tried to set up the first matchups so that we didn't necessarily have a Magic Kingdom versus Magic Kingdom. We'll save that for later. Same thing, Epcot versus Epcot. So here we go. We're starting off with too big of a zoom. Here we go. We are starting off with our number one overall resort, the Grand Floridian, versus Animal Kingdom Lodge. And Priscilla, our guest host, we'll let you start us off. Where are you heading? The Grand Floridian or the Animal Kingdom Lodge?
So this one's a hard one for me because I've always been obsessed with the Grand Floridian. I haven't been able to stay at the Grand Floridian since I've had kids. I have stayed at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. I love it. It's beautiful. The Savannah View rooms are amazing. But there's a little bit of nostalgia that I love about the Grand Floridian. And I just had this conversation with Mike the other day, one of the other guest hosts, when we talked about if you're a Zennial, a Gen Xer, or a Millennial, you'll know that some of the best scenes were shot at the Grand Floridian for the show Full House when they went to Disney World over 2 episodes. And that is, I still love those episodes. 30 plus years later, I still watch those episodes. My kids have watched those episodes. So for me, it would be the Grand Floridian. That's where I'm going first.
All righty. So 1 for the Grand Floridian. And by the way, we are another odd group. So if you are watching right now, please be sure to comment because we very well may have some tiebreakers, and that means we're going to need your help to break this tie. All right, Hawk. Grand Floridian?
Are you coming to me?
Oh, I am. Right. With the picture of the beach club behind you. But anyway.
Yeah, I understand. But I am not bougie. So I am not. We have some people on the cast that may be a little more bougie than me, but I am not the one that's bougie. That's for sure. I am not going to Grand Floridian. It's stale to me. It's a little too much. I don't enjoy the environment there. It's just not my thing. Animal Kingdom Lodge, I absolutely love. One, the fact that it has Boma, one of the best breakfast restaurants on Disney property, is amazing. The fact that Sanaa is also in that restaurant, or in that resort, Jico. There are so many places that Animal Kingdom offers that I think are even better food options than what's offered at the Grand Floridian. I do like the Grand Floridian Cafe. I like some of the meals I've had there. I'm not saying that they don't have good food by any stretch. We've enjoyed great meals at 1900 Park Fair. Not gone out and done narcoosses or anything else. Not necessarily a fan, again, of the entire resort. Animal Kingdom would definitely get my vote on this one.
All righty, so we're 1-1. Megan, Grand Floridian or Animal Kingdom?
When I'm looking for a resort to stay at Disney, I'm looking for a different feel from that I get inside the parks of a lot of people, a lot of noise, and just a lot going on. So I'm going to Animal Kingdom Lodge. Grand Floridian is very crowded. There are a lot of people there. I do enjoy it, but it's not a getaway from the parks for me. It's just an extension of Magic Kingdom. And that'll probably be a theme throughout my voting tonight. I love Animal Kingdom Lodge. The savannah, the animals, you're not going to get that anywhere else on property. It completely makes them stand out. I know people complain about buses only. We've talked about that on multiple episodes, that we would love to see another option, and I would too. But that being said, like Hawk said, the dining is better over at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Sanaa, which should have been last week's winner, is over there. And that's where I'm going every single time. But I want something that feels like you walk through that front door and it's just a breath of relief after a day in the parks. And I don't get that feel from Grand Floridian.
All right. So that's 2 for Animal Kingdom, 1 for Grand Floridian. So I haven't had a chance to stay at Animal Kingdom yet. I've been there many a time, but I haven't had the opportunity. And part of that challenge was, for many, many years, we were a family of 5. And if you were at Animal Kingdom Lodge and a family of 5, you were out of luck, unless you did 2 rooms, which was very expensive. Whereas Grand Floridian, Beach Club, Contemporary, many of the deluxe resorts can handle 5 because they have that sort of flip down day bed that turns into a little single bed. I stayed at Grand Floridian Resort December of 2008, and let me tell you what, Christmas at the GF, holy smokes. I mean, it just doesn't get any better, I think, from a resort perspective. The GF puts on and does Christmas really, really, really well. GF also has amazing resorts. We talked, again, let's go back to our round of 16, 2 resorts from the Grand Floridian. We talked about Narcoossee's, which was in the list of 16. And then, as we said, the restaurant that sits out and above and in a class all by itself, Victoria and Albert's, which is, among one of the finest dining establishments in all of Florida. And so, that being said, though, the Grand Floridian, from an expense standpoint, is really, really huge. The other challenge I have with the Grand Floridian is that while it's a deluxe resort, it's almost like a moderate in the fact that it's laid out. You have these exterior buildings here, and an exterior building here, and an exterior building over here, and another one way back here. Unless you are staying in the main resort, which, by the way, is club level, I'm pretty sure all the rooms in the main resort are club level, you're outside, and you're having to walk, sometimes in the elements. Remember, it's Florida, and it occasionally will rain in Florida. So you're in the elements and everything like that. You're at Animal Kingdom Lodge. It's one great big U for the most part. And then you have got the DVC resorts that are attached to it. No, by the way, a DVC resort over in the Grand Floridian as well. But again, it's down the way. So for me, this is, and this is another reason why, frankly, I stacked the deck. I wanted these 2 going against each other because I think the Grand Floridian, Disney says, hey, it's our signature resort. It's our flagship. But is it really? Because Animal Kingdom Lodge has, as I believe Megan said, provides something that is nowhere else. It has its own savannah. Literally, its private own savannah. You're not sharing the savannah with Animal Kingdom itself or anything like that. It's its own savannah. Yes, the transportation at Animal Kingdom Lodge is atrocious and must be addressed. I think a Skyliner network at Animal Kingdom should already have happened by now, frankly. But I am actually going to join the group, and Animal Kingdom Lodge, as soon as I can catch up here, Animal Kingdom Lodge, you are moving on. Oh, come on. I don't want to do that. Animal Kingdom Lodge is, there we go, moving on to round 2. Okay. If you thought the last one was hard, and I'm going to start this one off, it's Wilderness Lodge versus the Beach Club and the Yacht Club. And again, as I said earlier,
we're going to go 4-5, or are we going to do 2-3?
Oh, let's go 2-3. Let's go in order. I like that. Let's go 2-3.
2-7.
2-7. I mean, sorry. Contemporary Resort versus Riviera. I repeat my previous statement, and you thought the last one was hard. Here is another resort, again, the Riviera. Disney, in some respects, is kind of trying to play that as their secondary signature resort. I mean, it's a really upscale resort located over near Epcot, and it has Skyliner access. Compared with arguably the most photographed resort at Walt Disney World, the Contemporary Resort. And we all have heard the long history of the Contemporary Resort, its modular design, how it's put together, the only resort that has a monorail actually going through the entire thing. 2 monorails, mind you, going through the whole thing. This one is a challenge because Riviera is brand new. It is the newest resort at Walt Disney World, and on this list as number 7 versus, what is, again, a favorite for many. Again, something I haven't had a chance to stay at Riviera yet, but I've been there many a time. Topolino's is there. Hawk maybe kind of likes Topolino's. He's been there once or twice. So this is a challenge. Contemporary Resort, dining at the Contemporary can be hit or miss. I think Steakhouse 71 is a big hit. We all have said repeatedly that Chef Mickey's is pretty much a miss, at least in its current iteration. Hopefully, maybe that'll change someday. But for now, no. Everything being said, though, the Contemporary Resort gives you something that the Riviera simply can't. And that is location, location, location. There is no other Magic Kingdom resort, realistically, where you can walk to the Magic Kingdom. Yes, you can sort of do it from the Grand Floridian and the Polynesian kind of technically, but it's a really long walk. The Contemporary, though, it's faster to walk than to take the monorail. It is absolutely faster to walk than to take the monorail, and you have your own security clearance area.
But you'll get into the park first if you take that first monorail of the day instead of walking. Yes,
I beat the Contemporary. I've done it. I beat the monorail every time.
My parents beat us when we walked because of where they held us for security, and my parents had already gone through and
really?
They hopped off that monorail and we're in.
I beat them. I beat it every single time. I beat it every single time. So Chuck, I am going with the Contemporary. So because of that, I'm going with the Contemporary. Yes, I am taking the Contemporary over Riviera. And so Megan, okay, go carry us on.
I stayed at the Contemporary for the first time last year. I did not expect much out of it because I had just seeing it and visiting it over the years, not impressed as far as like that resort feel. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I even enjoyed the incredible theming that's in the resort. And yes, the walk to Magic Kingdom is just phenomenal. That being said, I think the better location is Riviera. If I'm going to be on any form of transportation at Disney, it's going to be the Skyliner. Again, I want that resort feel, something a little bit calmer. And I also happen to be, I love a very love-hate resort, which is the Caribbean Beach. And being next door where I can walk over and enjoy the hammocks on the beach over at that resort. I even like some of the food over there. Sebastian's Bistro is really great at Caribbean Beach, and Riviera has access to that. That Skyliner access to 2 parks. And I loathe and despise the Epcot monorail because I find it horribly inconvenient. So the monorail itself does nothing for me. Riviera has the best coffee shop. Le Petit Cafe has the best coffee. Outside of maybe Cinderella's Royal Table, which I will maybe never pay to go and have a cup of coffee there, but I'll take Hawk's word for it. But yeah, I'm going Riviera, and I love Riviera, hands down.
All right, Priscilla, what do you got?
I haven't stayed at the Riviera, and I don't plan on it. I think it's overpriced for my taste. And I've stayed around at, deluxe resorts, moderate resorts, value resorts. There's nothing that appeals to me. I've stopped there obviously several times. I've been to the coffee shop, it's coffee. I mean, it takes a lot to dazzle me. The Contemporary holds a special place in my heart. My father was obsessed with that resort from my very first trip in 1980. He has been obsessed with that resort. Sadly, he passed. I never got a chance to take him there. So when we finally got to stay there, I was trying not to set myself up too much for any kind of, in case I was disappointed. I was kind of like, I'm hoping for the best. I'm preparing for the worst, and let's see where it goes. And I wasn't disappointed. It's a great resort. I love the layout. I love how it looks. The trick is to not to stay in either the main building and not in the garden wing, or stay in Bay Lake Tower if you can afford it, because it is pricey. Um, Not a fan of Chef Mickey's, but I loved Steakhouse 71, so I'm going with the Contemporary.
There we go. I'm going to give a quick bit of love for the Garden Wing, and here's a little secret. There's a parking lot just outside the door of the Garden Wing. It is self-parking. So if you can snag one of those, it is the easiest in and out we have ever done. Hawk, what do you think?
Well, 2 words: Topolino's Terrace. I mean, you have to go here. But to bring up some of the points that have been touched on, the nostalgia with the Contemporary Resort, the history of how it was made, the modular construction, so much innovation at the time. It's got a freaking train that goes through the center. The monorail goes through the hotel. I mean, it's amazingly well done, given the time. And, this is an unfair matchup, in my opinion, because you're literally taking 2020 construction and pitting it against 1971 construction. So, like, it's as far apart in modern amenities as you can get. And they've done a good job with upgrading the Contemporary and the rooms and everything else. But I've got to go with Riviera on this one. I'm with Megan. The Skyliner access alone, to me, that is the best transportation at Walt Disney World. I enjoy the Skyliner more than any other transportation. Contemporary has fireworks views. You can get up on the roof, or you can, if you have theme park views from your room, you've got the opportunity to be able to enjoy the fireworks. But you can also enjoy them from the Riviera at Epcot. So to me, out of the two, the food options at Riviera are amazing. I love not to get into the, basic amenities, but the pool at the Contemporary is fairly simple to me. The pool at the Riviera is laid out differently. The courtyard at the Riviera is amazing. I mean, being able to go sit out, play chess with the kids on the giant chessboard, or sit on the swings and enjoy your great cup of coffee from the cafe. Or, as Megan had touched on in a prior episode, at night, the lighting where the mosaic murals are is just incredible. And, to me, I would go Riviera. And I know I'm going to lose because we got Ty and Anne-Marie both praising the Contemporary, and Natalie is going Riviera. So if you count that out.
I was about to say, we have a tie, but now, again, thanks to our guest hosts that are joining us by chat.
Riviera and Topolino's get screwed twice in our March Madness. They have been
they just didn't stand up. The Contemporary Resort. You move on to round 2. Okay,
I'm going on the record as saying that I contest this decision, and I will talk to the lawyers.
In the words of Big Bang Theory, overruled. And if you can you want to do an informal protest too, overruled. All righty, next up. Again, I'm going to say again, you thought this was hard. Polynesian Village Resort against the Boardwalk Inn. We're running into some of the same things here. These are not easy matchups, which says that Disney has a lot of great deluxe resorts out there. Alrighty, so Hawk, we'll let you lead this one off.
Bungalows. Polynesian takes this one. I'm giving it 1. The pool, that creepy clown pool makes me nervous at the Boardwalk. Boardwalk being in the Boardwalk resorts, I think is absolutely amazing. Okay. I'll be the first to admit that staying in that area is absolutely astounding. You've got great food and options. You've got entertainment at night. It's, for the young adult, or, well, at least until recently. But you had the ability to go to jelly rolls and enjoy experiences and things like that. Sadly, that's going bye-bye. But the nightlife was great at the boardwalk. However, that being said, Trader Sam's is a great option. You can grab your beverage, go sit out on the beach, watch the fireworks over Magic Kingdom. You've got the bungalows right there on the water. I'm not a huge fan of the original resorts, but Poly is the one that I would be. I absolutely despise the new DVC tower that has been built, and I think it destroyed the environment there. I know a lot of people love it, and I know and understand how beautiful it is inside and how great the amenities are. I just think from a Disney purist, it took the look away from the lake for me and really just looks out of place. That being said, I would still take the Poly all day long in this battle.
Alrighty. So we got one for the Poly. Megan?
So there's really only one factor that I take into account when I look at these two. And that's the fact that unless I'm mistaken, the Boardwalk Inn does not have a quick service location inside that resort. You have to actually go outside on the boardwalk.
That is indeed correct.
And I realize that all deluxe resorts pride themselves on table service because it's that higher end. However, when we talk about value and we talk about how people choose to spend their money at Disney, some people have saved up a lot so that they can stay at the deluxe, but they need to watch budget in other areas. And so quick service becomes their go-to dining. Not having even a single quick service location, let's be clear, these deluxe resorts as an entire group, their quick service options are sad, but, and there are a few that I like a lot. Riviera's I adore. But to not even have a single one inside the building, again, as Chuck said, it's Florida. Sometimes it rains. I'm sorry, I should not have to leave the building that I am staying in order to get something where I don't have a waiter coming over. So for that alone, I'm going to take Polynesian. Also, although I am not a large fan of it, you can get Dole Whip at Polynesian and also go out and sit on that beach and watch the fireworks. So the quick service alone did it for me, but Dole Whip will push Polynesian just that much further.
Yeah, I'm going to be with Megan all the way and Hawk all the way on this, and it hands down it's the Polynesian. Now, let's give some props to Boardwalk. The nightlife and night entertainment at Boardwalk is phenomenal. You get a good night where, again, we're not dealing with rain or anything like that. They've got performers, magic acts, all kinds of amazing things that are happening there at the boardwalk. Do watch out for all the bicyclists, the quad bike things running around because you can get run over. They tend to kind of get a good head of steam as they're going. You got to watch out for them. That is very, very true, though. The boardwalk does not have a quick service that's right there. And that boardwalk to go area has really changed over the years. It's now kind of mostly a glorified hot dog stand. There is the boardwalk pizza window, and the pizza's okay. It's not the best pizza. This is not Viennapoli, folks. But, it's good pizza. Go ahead, Hawk.
Cake.
Well, yeah, there's that, too.
Cake.
Expensive.
$23 cake, but it is damn good cake. It is $23 a slice, but it is damn good cake.
They need to let Hawk do a commercial for them because that is fantastic.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised that Hawk. Yeah, I'm sorry. Bring back ESPN Club. I'm all over the ESPN Club, but that was that's another story and another show. But the Polynesian, first of all, this is under the same umbrella as the Contemporary. It is iconic. The Polynesian Village Resort is absolutely iconic and arguably one of the best breakfasts in all of Walt Disney World over at Kona. And I'm sorry, I'll take your coffee over at Riviera. I'll take your coffee over at Cinderella's Royal Table. Kona coffee. Done. Where else are you going to get real, pure Kona coffee? It's the real deal. But wait one better. You can take your coffee and go do whatever. I have Pog Juice. And Pog Juice is da bomb.
You can get pog juice at Boma. You can get it at the
but this is you're getting pog juice there and Tonga toast and everything else. Come on, dude. Plus,
Tonga toast, I'll give you the argument. That's the only place you can get the Tonga toast.
Tonga toast is amazing.
Pog juice, you can get it any of the
And Captain Cook's. I mean, you talk about as a quick service, Captain Cook's is pretty daggone good. It does have some really good options down there at Captain Cook's, and yes, of course, it does have Dole Whip, which I absolutely happen to love. So for this and for many, many reasons, we stayed. I did stay club level at Polynesian one time. Thank you, Disney. Full disclosure, it was something that Disney provided as part of a contest, and that club level was amazing. And being able to watch the entire Magic Kingdom fireworks from across the Seven Seas Lagoon, pretty incredible. So for that, all those reasons and many, many more, I'm going to Polynesian. All right, Priscilla, take us home on this one.
So, as someone who travels with family, it was, that was always the deciding factor as to why we never stayed at the boardwalk. At the Boardwalk Inn was because of the lack of quick service, especially when you have two little kids in tow, when you have a diabetic. There's a lot of factors that go into it. I will say, if I was going to choose the Polynesian, I would have chosen the older Polynesian before they made all the changes, before they put in the new DVC tower. I like the bungalows. I've seen tours. I've never personally been in them because they're definitely out of, my price range. Just because I have a kid that's in college and I want to make sure she can afford to go to college. And it's just, I love the idea, but if you're nostalgic Disney adult like I am, and you remember like the way it used to look, the lobby when you'd walk in and the fountain, you kind of get nostalgic for the way it used to look, and the changes that they've made. And if you could give me the Polynesian and the Spirit of Aloha show, that was something that my husband and I did back in the late 90s, and I never got a chance to take my kids there. And obviously when they announced that they weren't bringing it back and then they demolished the alcove, it was like devastating. But while I love the Boardwalk Inn and I love where it's located and I love, the proximity to both Hollywood Studios and Epcot, I think I'd have to pick the Polynesian in this case. Even though the likelihood is I probably won't stay there anytime soon, just because, like I said, I'm more nostalgic. It's definitely the Polynesian.
All righty, so the Polynesian does move on to the next round. Okay, our final round one matchup: Wilderness Lodge and Beach Club Yacht Club. Let's see here. Priscilla, start us out.
Wilderness Lodge, hands down. Again,
all right,
I love the Beach Club and the Yacht Club, again, for the same reasons that I love the Boardwalk Inn, the Boardwalk Villas. I love where it's located. I love its proximity because my favorite park is Epcot. It's, they're sister resorts that, I know I've never stayed at the Yacht Club, and I know that people have told me that they're both pretty similar. But there are some similarities, but they're not really similar. It's kind of like Eyebrows, where they're like cousins but not really sisters. Like they kind of resemble each other but not really. The Wilderness Lodge, I'm a New Englander. I loved going camping as a child. I love the idea of the rustic, tall trees, the outdoorsy type of environment. And I love every time you go into the Wilderness Lodge, you're just in awe, because you walk in and you look and it's just vast, and it just keeps going on forever. And Artist Point, oh my gosh, what's the other restaurant? It's like on the tip of my tongue and I can't remember the other restaurant that's there.
Whispering Canyon.
That's it. Which was one of my father's absolute favorites. We have a blast every time we go. And even walking out
Ketchup, anyone?
Even or don't ever ask for a refill. But when you walk outside and you just see, and it's just, all you hear is water, and it's very calming, and it doesn't get any better than that. It's like it's hard to almost believe that you are in the Disney bubble until you leave the property and actually see, like, the Magic Kingdom is like less than 5 minutes away. So definitely the Wilderness Lodge.
So we got one for Wilderness Lodge. I'll jump in here, this one. She said Wilderness Lodge, hands down. I'm saying Beach Club Yacht Club, hands down. And it's real simple. Where else? You name me another resort aside from the Boardwalk Inn, which we've already eliminated, where you can walk to Epcot, you can walk to Hollywood Studios. Yes, you have to deal with a bus to AK and to Magic Kingdom, but the Beach Club Yacht Club is the most centrally located resort that there is. It also has very good access to not one but two quick service resorts, and both offer different options there as well. Has arguably some of the best dining on property. Yachtsman Steakhouse, which again was on our list and did kind of go a little bit there, but very, very great dining options all throughout Beach Club and Yacht Club, and has, without a doubt, once it's done, the best pool on property in Stormalong Bay. That is a water park in and among itself. So, Beach Club, Yacht Club, to me, you cannot ask for better in a resort for all the amenities. I mean, think about it. Hop into the International Gateway at Epcot, and you're in there in 5 minutes. So in many respects, Epcot becomes, the World Showcase of Epcot becomes almost your extra dining options because you're right there. You can almost walk quicker into Epcot than it would be to go across the Crescent Lake to get to the boardwalk. So I am all for, hands down, Beach Club Yacht Club. Megan.
My idea of camping is a hotel with an ocean view. So I'm going to be joining Chuck at Yacht and Beach Club. Easy choice, location, location, location. My other thing was Wilderness Lodge, and I realized that rooms have been updated since I was last there. However, again, just with the nature of the decor, the rooms feel very tight to me, and I think a lot of that is some of the dark wood that's in some of them. But sometimes, like, I go into those rooms, and especially at the club level, and I kind of like want to duck my head. It almost feels like the ceiling's coming down. So those reasons alone, I'm going Yacht and Beach.
All righty, Hawk. Are we having a winner or are we having a tie? Muted.
Sorry about that. I had a dog doing a little barking going on there. I had to mute for a moment. So I'm going to bring up something you brought up earlier, and you talked about the holidays. And I am going to tell you that Wilderness Lodge, in my opinion, does even better around Christmas than the Grand Floridian. I know people love the gingerbread house and little stuff, but there is nothing better than sitting in the lobby of that hotel in front of the fireplace at Christmas with that giant tree. Whispering Canyon is a lot of fun, great restaurant, very lively, brings a lot of energy to that lobby. Artist Point being right there. They have the little bar next to it, the little lounge. They've got quick service right around the corner. Wonderful, wonderful pool. I love being able to take the boat to Magic Kingdom. As a matter of fact, a lot of the nights that we will go over from here to go over and visit Magic Kingdom, we'll park at Wilderness Lodge and grab a bite to eat there, and then go over for a little bit, walk around, walk our meal off before we head home. I think those are all, huge assets to the Wilderness Lodge. But Beaches and Cream, baby. Like, come on. You're on the Skyliner. You can still take the boat. You can go to Epcot or Hollywood Studios, or take it over to Boardwalk and grab yourself some food. You've got the ice cream window right there at Beaches. I mean, the pool, sand bottom pool. Like, come on. You got the pirate ship, the water slide, the giant beach to sit out and watch one of the most beautiful places in Disney property to watch a sunset. If you've not sat out there, it's an amazing spot just for the way the sun falls and the lighting changes. See the boardwalk start to light up at dusk. It's just a beautiful, beautiful area, great environment, and it's based on New England. The hotel is based on a New England theory. Like it's the Cape. So I'm from New England. I'm staying at Beach Club and getting my frozen sunshine and sitting and enjoying my tomato soup and grilled cheese if it's cold outside, or my French dip when it's nice out. Either way, I'm having a blast at the Beach Club. Beach Club.
Alrighty, so Beach and Yacht moves on. And by the way, I do have to also give props to Beach and Yacht at Christmas time too. If you have never been over to Beach and Yacht and seen their gingerbread carousel, it's like amazing. It is absolutely phenomenal. Alrighty, so we are heading back, and so our first second round matchup, a couple of heavyweights here. Speaking of another great Christmas resort, Animal Kingdom Lodge, going up against Beach Club and Yacht Club. And Hawk, will let you start this one out here. Are you staying with the Beach and Yacht? Or are you going AK?
All right. I love Beach Club. I mean, I'm wearing my shirt. I got it on the background. Beach Club is like, it's New England based, but there is nothing better than sitting on the savannah and watching giraffes from your room while you sit and have some breakfast. Being able to go down to Boma, Sanaa, to sit and have lunch and watch the animals out there, the relaxation. We always drove to Disney. We always had a rental car. So the argument that a lot of people make that they don't like the location never bothered me because I had the car there. So, that was not a big deal. You can get anywhere on Disney property in 10 minutes. So I wasn't worried about it. It can be inconvenient to wait for the bus, but if you have your own transportation, it is not that inconvenient being out there. I really love that site. I love everything about it. I would definitely have to take Animal Kingdom Lodge. I got to go all out and just say that would be it. There's nothing better than sitting watching the animals or sitting out over the fire and at night and feeling like you're away from everything. The one downside to Beach Club, Yacht Club, Boardwalk, it does stay active out there at night. It doesn't wind down. It can be very late, especially at Boardwalk. But, you can have a lot going on later into the night. I like the fact that Animal Kingdom Lodge quiets down. They roll the carpets up pretty early. The animals head away, and you can go relax and enjoy the peace and quiet of that area. I really like that a lot.
All righty, Priscilla, Animal Kingdom or Beach Yacht?
Animal Kingdom, for the sole reason that while I love the energy and the environment of the Beach Club, the Yacht Club, the Boardwalk, and all the daytime, the life into the night, but if you're staying there, the last thing you want is it being midnight and people still like up and partying. I don't need to hear it. I'm like, great for them for having a good time, but as an adult and as as part of the over 45 crowd, I kind of enjoy the silence every now and then, and there's nothing better than finding a quiet corner, whether it's 10 o'clock at night and you're kind of just wandering around, meandering around the Animal Kingdom Lodge, or it's bright and early at like 6 or 7 o'clock and you're just enjoying your coffee in one of the open areas just overlooking the savannah and just taking in that quiet, that just those moments. The food is phenomenal at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. So yeah, definitely my choice would be Animal Kingdom Lodge.
All righty. Well, I'm going to jump in on this, and everybody has made a lot of great points about Animal Kingdom Lodge, but I'm sorry, location. It trumps all, and Stormalong Bay trumps all. It's Beach Yacht. It truly is Beach Yacht. It also has, amazing food as well. And again, you have, for many of the reasons I talked about before, that just, when you look at it from a whole package perspective, yes, I mean, look, I'm a huge Boma fan. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Boma, that Boma mustard. Oh, good Lord. But those are individual little items. I look at Beach Yacht and the entire package. You have Stormalong Bay, you have Beaches and Cream, you have Epcot 5 minutes away, you have Hollywood Studios, 15 minutes away. You have easy access over to all of the restaurants at Swan Dolphin. You've got the boardwalk across from you. You literally have just about everything at your fingertips. It is beach and yacht all the way. Megan, do we have a tie or do we have a winner?
Okay, so first of all, this is my championship match here. These are my top 2 deluxe on property. It kills me to pick either one over the other. That being said, I'm going to go with Chuck. Location, location, location. And there is a deep satisfaction that I probably shouldn't get, that I do at the end of the night when Epcot is closing and I just walk past all those people waiting for the Skyliner. That's just like a highlight of my trip. So sign me up. I love and if you want something calming, that walk over to Hollywood Studios, it's so fantastic. I wouldn't do it in the middle of the day in July. I don't recommend that. But yacht and beach all the way.
All righty. So we do have a tie.
Ty
has said Animal Kingdom Lodge. Natalie has said Animal Kingdom Lodge. I'm sorry, our chat's not working. It's overridden. They're not right or anything like that. We're going to wait. Come on. Help me out, beach clubbers. Help me out. Come on.
Chuck, how does it feel to be wrong?
Ooh.
No. Not wrong. Outvoted does not mean wrong.
No. It does not mean
it's
wrong.
It's
but
wrong.
by any stretch of the imagination.
That's
Wrong.
my girl.
Wrong.
That's my girl, Priscilla. Thanks.
No,
You're wrong. You're wrong. Nope.
Okay.
Nope, wrong.
Okay. Megan, we're going to have to admit defeat on this one.
I-
Animal
this
Kingdom,
one-
you're moving forward.
I'm
Is that like Artist Point sliding over last week?
Yeah, it pretty much is. Yeah, this one hurts, folks. I'm sorry. All of you that are Yacht and Beach Club fans, I tried. I really did. It truly is, actually, in my opinion, it's the best resort at all of Walt Disney World. But
Chuck,
we'll just slide on down here.
Chuck, you have a very valid point. and location is huge, and what it gives you access to. But what the resort itself, if you take the resort independently of itself being there, I think Animal Kingdom Lodge edges.
And Hawk, what we're laughing and we're having fun here, but you bring up a really, really good point. If we didn't have the parks, and by that I mean no Magic Kingdom, no Epcot, no Hollywood Studios, no Animal Kingdom, the park, how would these resorts stand as truly standalone entities if you stayed there for 4 or 5 days? That changes the beach club a lot. It really does. Yes, Stormalong Bay is one amazing, fantastic pool. But now you bring in, again, what we talked about before with Animal Kingdom Lodge. It does have the Savannah. It does have, again, incredibly great dining. Again, give me Boma, please. And that alone, when you do look at it that way, through that lens, it does make Animal Kingdom stand out a lot more. However, there are still 4 parks, and so, location is still an issue.
Go ahead, Megan.
Yeah,
And
go ahead,
that's the
Megan.
great thing about doing something like this, but also just the way that Disney plans out, because they open a new resort and half the people go, what are they doing? This is awful. The other half are going, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I've wanted from them, because they all hit on different pain points. And what people are looking for. And that's what I love about Disney, is that any of these on any given day could be the chosen resort based on what you're looking for at that time.
And Megan, to your point too, I also think even larger than that, part of the joy of going to Disney is trying something different every time and discovering your own new love for something. And when you give yourself the chance to try something, I joke a lot about how, we try all the restaurants. We try to experience all the rides. And we have some that, as we've talked about, one and done. You don't want to do it again. You have experiences that you realize, okay, that doesn't really fit what I thought. When the Grand Floridian first started getting pumped, I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. It just wasn't our vibe. We just did not enjoy the vibe in that resort. We didn't enjoy the vibe of the guests that were there, to be totally honest. It was just, we didn't feel comfortable. And we're more laid back and much more, like Pop Century was my favorite resort at Disney for years. Still is at some level. Like if I was going anywhere to try to save money and go somewhere, I'm going to Pop Century. I love that resort. I have a blast there. And I love the rooms, and I love the fact that they were updated before some of the moderate and deluxe resorts had updated rooms. So, there's something for everybody at all these places. I just think for me, in this particular matchup, especially, when you talk about Animal Kingdom and what we're just dealing with Beach Club, Animal Kingdom is the difference maker in and of itself. Whereas Beach Club has a great pool, but I'm not a pool guy. So, like, I'm not going out and laying by the pool, but I could sit on a balcony and watch the animals all day long. I can spend hours on the trails in the parks enjoying that. So, like, I like that animal aspect of it. For Chuck, you have a different thought process, a different way that you go with your family, and you love the pool, clearly. So you're spending some time on that tube rolling around in there in the lazy river, or the lazy donut, as I like to call it, because it's a very small lazy river, but it is a blast.
Yeah, indeed it is. And again, it comes to another point, and we've talked about this repeatedly here on Mousecast, is why during your trip, allow some time to truly experience your resort, because they are destinations in and among themselves. I mean, that's the whole point of what we're talking about here, is all of the benefits that the resort itself brings. But we have come to the matchup that I kind of anticipated on this one, a pair of classic, iconic, original Magic Kingdom resorts. The very first two, the Poly and the Contempt. Let's see here. I'll actually start this one off this time. The Polynesian, we'll start with the Contemporary. The Contemporary is an amazing resort. It provides so much for what you do with the Contemporary. Having the garden wing gives it the ability at a little bit of a lower price point. Yes, you're technically outside, but it is covered. Unlike even the Polynesian, which is truly outside in different bungalows. Although, unlike the Grand Floridian, where those different buildings, it doesn't kind of fit. Here it fits. These are kind of bungalow style. They're larger, they're big bungalows, but it still kind of fits. It follows the theming and the vibe of the Polynesian to have the various separate buildings. The Contemporary, though, having that monorail that runs completely through it, you have the fourth floor there and the Grand Canyon Concourse. It is truly spectacular. It is. I mean, it's iconic. It's absolutely iconic. But you cannot do any better. Both have great fireworks views, but this is from the deluxe, or from the club lounge over at the Polynesian, and an amazing view, an absolutely amazing view from the Polynesian. So I have to pick between the two. I'm going Polynesian. All right, let's see here. Megan, take us away.
Well, I voted for it in the first round. However, I believe the Polynesian is the most overrated of the deluxe resorts. And it's simply 100% because of the lobby and the way that it is designed. The chaos, the lines trying to get into the monorail, the shopping, the restaurants, the people waiting around for Trader Sam's to open and possibly get it. I mean, it is just complete chaos. That back door going in and out of the pool area where all the activities are. Talk about something that was one and done for me. I'm out. Not again. So Contemporary all the way for me on this one.
Interesting. Hawk?
So I think the guys are going to be united on this one, because I have to go with the Polynesian on this one. Some of the things we touched on before, and I agree with many of the points Megan just made, that I think the lobby is problematic with the crowds and the way it's done, especially if you're trying to go in for breakfast or dealing with stuff when Ohana gets backed up and people start waiting around. It gets a little crazy in there. But the fact that the nostalgia of my memory of it, the first time I went there in the 80s, the experience I had, the theming that they for years attempted to keep in place there until this giant DVC tower was erected. But the bungalows on the water, it's a very unique ability to stay. So I'll never afford to stay there. I'll sneak out behind some family that's going home to their room drunk and just walk behind them and act like I'm supposed to be there, take a peek, get my visit, and then I'll leave. And if they're nice, maybe they'll let me sit in the hot tub for a few minutes. But the reality is, the money for that is something we'll never do. We'll never spend the money to go out there. The pool is a nice pool for that area. I love the fact that the beach looks straight across into the Magic Kingdom. I just think from the location, even if you take the Contemporary or the Grand Floridian that are both there, the view from the Poly is just the best. It's straight across. It's right at everything. When you watch those fireworks at night, it's a straight on shot. You're in line with the castle. When you watch them from the top of the Contemporary, you'll be surprised to see how far back they are, way beyond, that they're getting launched way behind the park. And you don't really have that perspective when you sit in front of the castle and see the fireworks show. And you start to realize like how much space is there between the pyro you see by the castle versus the fireworks blowing up way, 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 way behind it. It's just a unique perspective, but I love the fact it's straight on. It's aligned. My OCD stays in tune. I'm comfortable. And then the ability to go out and get that Dole Whip right outside and sit on the lawn and sit in the place. The Contemporary lacks the comfort of the places like the Riviera that have that space and courtyard. The Poly has a courtyard. It has the beach. It has the fake grass where you can sit and hang out. It has various places where you can go out on the pier and enjoy that. Contemporary has the pier, but it's on the back side. You don't get the view of anything. It's a very different feel to me. So I still think that the Poly would win this one for me. And given the restaurants and things in it, as much as I like some of the things in the Contemporary, the Poly still steals this one for me.
All right, Priscilla, do we have a tie or are we going forward with the Poly?
So this is a weird one for me because if ever there was something that would trigger my ADHD, it's the chaos that happens in the Poly. At any given time, we've talked about it before, you walk in there and the lobby, it's just madness. And nothing makes me more overstimulated, which is surprising, obviously, because I can handle being inside the parks and things like that. You would think that it would be something like, Pop Century, where it's just chaotic 24/7. The All-Stars, it's chaotic 24/7. But the Poly, for some reason, just it triggers something that I can't explain just because there's so much going on from all these different directions. That being said, the one thing that I don't like about the Contemporary, and you can tell the difference between the two because, the Contemporary was supposed to be very futuristic. It was supposed to be, cutting edge at the time. But there's also an aspect of it when you walk in, and I'm not talking temperature-wise, it's very cold. It's like almost not clinical, but I guess it's something similar to that. Where you walk in and it's not welcoming, it's not inviting, it's not warm. You go to the Poly and you see the flowers and it's very warm. It is a very inviting environment.
You have 50 million people saying aloha.
So, I hate to say this just because it's like I said, the Contemporary is very nostalgic for me. I love the history behind it. I love that it was one of the original resorts. I love the fact, like I said, that it holds a special place to me because my dad was so in love with it. But aside from the chaos that the Poly gives me, I'd probably choose the Poly over the Contemporary just because, food aside, because I do not like any of the food at the Polynesian, and you can take my Disney adult card for that one, but I'm not a fan of the food at the Poly. But the location of where it's at and stuff, and the atmosphere is what would win it over for me.
This was a tough one, folks. These are signature resorts, and there's a reason that they're signature resorts. But Polynesian Village moves to our final. And speaking of our final,
and I mean, you do get the flowered necklaces at
you do get the leis and all that kind of thing. And so all right. So we have a pair of in some respects tropical-ish resorts. You have Animal Kingdom Lodge versus the Polynesian. And by the way, Natalie, one of our guest hosts, agrees and says the Poly for her, it's her dream resort. All righty, this is it. We're down to our two. And two there are, but only one can advance to be the winner. All righty, so Megan, start us off.
Well, this is going to be easy for me. I adore Animal Kingdom Lodge, and Polynesian's overrated. So give me AKL all day, every day.
Wow, that was short, sweet, and to the point. Natalie, Megan, tell me how you really think there. All right, Priscilla, AK or the Poly?
Animal Kingdom Lodge, no question, no contest. No
contest. Wow.
No.
All right, Hawk, what do you got, AK or Poly?
Well, given I just reminded myself about the flowering necklaces, I am going to go with the Animal Kingdom Lodge 100%. AKL just can't be beat. I understand that the Poly was the flagship resort for Disney when it first opened. The nostalgia behind it, the theming was amazing. For those that couldn't fly to Hawaii, it gave you the closest experience you could get, given the time, with the authentic dinner, the luau, the great things that resort offered over the years. But to Priscilla's point, a lot of that has gone by the wayside. And one of the things that Animal Kingdom Lodge has kept since its inception is that theme is still present there. They haven't changed enough that you feel as though it's a different resort now than what it was. They've really maintained and been what they've been from the start. And just for that alone, with the fact that, Sanaa got screwed last week, and I'll back Megan up on this, that, it has Sanaa. This is our opportunity to help Sanaa win something.
Yeah, but that's the DVC resort. We're not talking about that one. This is Animal Kingdom Lodge here.
I understand.
I'm not going to get away with that, am I?
It's still Animal Kingdom Lodge. It's just whether it's Jumbo House or, but
single bus, 2 stops.
I tried.
Same resort.
So great try there, Chuck, but you're going to fail this one, and Animal Kingdom Lodge will be our champ, but you can give your take. Now.
And again, I'm going to join Natalie and Ty here, and there's been a change in the rules. We're allowing the comments to come, so the Polynesian now gets 3 votes. Sorry, you guys, it's a tie now. No, a lot of love for the Polynesian. A whole lot of love for the Polynesian. I absolutely adore the Polynesian. Yes, I think some previous comments about the Polynesian of the past was a better Polynesian than it is now. I really agree with that. The current DVC iteration, I have a feeling it will grow on people, but it hasn't done so just yet for a lot of us. That being said, I don't have a lot of heartburn. Officially, I'm voting for Polynesian, but I don't have a lot of heartburn for this. Animal Kingdom Lodge, without a doubt, I think does come across as your winner for the March, Mousekast Where the Mind Meets the Madness tournament. So Animal Kingdom Lodge, congratulations. You are our number 1 resort out of all 8 resorts here on Mousekast. Hey guys, we want to say a huge thank you to guest host Priscilla, who is joined us tonight. Thank you so much for playing along. Remember, We got game night coming up next week. This one's going to be a pre-recorded one, so be sure to watch us. It will premiere next Tuesday at 8:30. And then the following week, we're back live with the Big Four. You know it. We're going park versus park. So it's time to bring out the heavy hitters. We're going to compare and pick which is the best park at Walt Disney World. I have a feeling that's going to be a tough one. Want to say a huge thank you as well for listening or for watching us, for those that were live with us tonight, or if you are watching us via playback. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, help us out. Spread the word about how much you enjoy listening to or watching Mousekast, either live or via playback. Share out and share our Facebook, our Twitter, our YouTube, and share out that you've been paying attention and have been participating in Mousekast. Again, we are the podcast where the mind meets the magic. And so until next time, we'll see you.
Mousekast podcast thanks you for listening to our show. When you let the mind meet the magic, it's where the deep thoughts flow. This is where the mind meets the magic. We dive a little deeper every time. Theme parks, cruise ships, and travel. If you don't listen, it's a crime. We took 8 deluxe resorts and brought it to number 1. The debate was heated, the show was so much fun. If you don't listen, it's a crime.